Welcome to the D&D Morning Show. We're happy to be here with a new episode for you. So let's get rolling.
Let's do it. You want to start out with your fun facts?
So my fun fact about myself is, it's kind of ironic fact, but when I was a little girl, I was a dancer. So I wanted to, and I was not so bad at it, but what? It's so funny. It's because I'm like the clumsiest person ever. You don't get more clumsy than this. And Drew actually has a nickname for me called Elephant Feet. And not just because of their voluptuous size.
Feet are kind of big.
But also because of the enthusiasm in which I walk with.
Oh my gosh. Enthusiasm. Yeah, I can't picture you as a dancer at all.
No, but I loved it when I was a little girl. But I did some tap and some jazz, which was the fun part. I tried some ballet for a while, and I can remember the ballet teacher telling me to stop looking like a football player.
And that never wore off.
And I've been that way ever since. But Drew's office used to be in the basement here in our house, and now it's upstairs. But when he was in the basement, he would tell me "What are you doing up there?" Because boom, boom, boom. Oh, nothing. Just hanging out.
Sometimes I'd wonder, what is going on up there?
Yeah.
Just walking around.
Yeah, and I drop things all the time, and it's just crazy. Things just fall out of my hands. I don't know how it happens.
So my fun fact, if you couldn't tell, I have a enjoyment.
Enjoyment. Just making up words over here.
Enjoyment, not a word?
It's probably, yeah, but I don't know.
I have an enjoyment of the Wizard of Oz.
Small obsession? No?
Slight obsession?
Maybe.
I have a collection of these, all of them. I thought I would just bring up one.
He has all of them.
Like the little bobbleheads.
Yeah.
So I used to watch the Wizard of Oz every morning when I would get up, and I still love that. I still love it. I'll put it on. It's one of the handful of movies that I can watch over and over again. And you enjoy it too.
Yeah, I had the VHS as a kid, and I wore that thing out. I can remember when it stopped working, crying, and my mom had to buy me a new one to get me to stop crying. But I think we have between the two of us, we have 3 or 4 copies of it.
Yeah.
No.
Of the CD.
Of the CD, yeah.
Yeah. So that's my fun little fact. I enjoy the Wizard of Oz immensely. Reminds me of being a kid. So, what do we have going on today in the show?
We're gonna talk about bread a little bit, and then we're gonna get into the meal plan for the week.
Right. So we'll offer some tips around bread, consuming bread, and we'll get into the meal plan as well. So, what? What ignited the idea of the bread?
Oh my gosh!
This is one of those, come on, man!
Yeah! So Drew and I were shopping at the grocery store, and we always well, not always, but sometimes we're when we're looking for a cleaner bread, we're in the bakery section, we're checking out all the bread and the ingredients, but we came across this rainbow bread!
Rainbow
bread. And it was freshly baked from the bakery, but it was literally packed full of all these different dyes. There was yellows, purples, blues, green. Rainbow bread. And I was oh my gosh, Drew, look at this. And Drew's shh, because I'm loud, and you don't want if people you don't want to insult people, but I'm look at this bread. Who would eat this?
It reminded me of those grapples.
Oh yes.
See those? They were apples packed in plastic, and they had grape flavor.
Yes.
It's madness. But anyways,
back to the bread.
Back to the bread. So Of course, it had tons and tons of ingredients, and it's sitting there on the shelf like this white bread that was dyed like all these bright, colorful colors. Like, it's no different when you're trying to hydrate, or you know, like that bodybuilding or athletic world has those pre-workout drinks that are like these highlighted colors that
bright blue.
Make your tongue blue or orange, whatever it is. Like, horrible toxins are put in those, just like this bread. You know, it was just so shocking to be like, you know, our society's like, we'll do anything possible to draw awareness, to make something look good. I don't know if that looked good. Maybe the kids.
Well, that's what it was. That's my impression, was that it was like to entice kids, like, right? But I'm looking at this and all, like, a long list of ingredients, most which were toxins, like 10,000 number whatever dyes. And I looked at Drew and I was like, all this research telling us to stay away from these dyes, and they just pump it in this bread. Like, come on, man!
Yeah, it was a bit shocking. I've never seen anything like that
No,
before.
me neither.
So anyways, when we get into bread, on a more serious note, bread in North America is a staple. So we have toast in the morning, sandwich in the afternoon, a roll with dinner.
Yeah.
So when we make meal plans or we talk about days or weeks without bread, people are like, what do you mean? How do you live without bread? So I suppose the first thing that we wanted to recognize and bring up is that it's normal to have bread on a regular basis.
I just want to say something. Of course I do. But I never used to be able to eat my soup without bread. When Drew and I started making soup together, I'm like, but where's the bun? Where's the crackers? So that just made, when Drew had mentioned, like, it's so much in our society, you have bread with every meal, like, that's what made me think of, like, for the longest time I was like missing having a roll with my soup or crackers with my soup. And now we don't even think about it now, because the way we make soup now with rice and things like that. But yeah, I thought that was interesting.
And I think it's
in my mind.
And I think that's normal. Like, we always have a piece of bread on the side in some way. And so the first thing is to recognize that that's normal. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with you that you have that bread there. And it's making that transition to less bread. So the reason that we want to get away from bread is because it's usually low quality substance, foods, nutrients. It usually has a long list of ingredients. It's usually hard for our bodies to digest, which is why, you know, gluten's such a big craze. But it's true. Like, a lot of people have issues digesting those bread products. So then, you know, unfortunately, then we're automatically celiac, and then we look at low quality products that have gluten-free on them, and they're still low quality, but we think they're okay just because they have
gluten.
Right. So transitioning from bread and moving to less bread in your diet, or, you know, better options, or the other one is, I lost my train of thought. Less bread or better quality bread.
Better quality, yeah.
So tell us a bit about how to find better quality breads.
It is a challenge, not gonna lie, because of how Drew was saying, like, bread is one of the lower quality foods because they have so many ingredients in them, and a lot which are toxins and
preservatives. These things that our bodies don't recognize, absorb, digest.
Yeah, but you can find a better version or a better, healthier option if you look for sprouted grain breads.
It's a good option.
Organic, like wheat bread, and a lot of times those go hand in hand. It's going to be like organic sprouted grain bread, for example. Still be careful, because it's so tricky. It just blows my mind how the food industry tries to make it hard for us, right? Or tries to deceive us. Like, put this label on there, like, oh, this is good, right? It's a good whole wheat, or it's gluten-free. Yeah, that's the right choice. But then you look at the ingredients and it's like, what the heck, right? But one brand it's not gluten-free, but it's a nice brand, is the Squirrely breads. They're organic sprouted grains. They're vegan, so there's no eggs or butter or anything like that in the bread. and just all around like a nice quality bread. But again, you don't want to, just because it's a good quality bread or a better option, we don't want you to have it every day, I guess is what I'm saying.
Like we were talking about a staple, like we want to transition or move away from having bread as a staple in our diet, like every day, every morning.
Yeah.
So if you're having, toast every morning, then maybe it's time to make a little bit of a change. Maybe you could have toast 4 days a week instead of every morning, and look for other options. There's so many different options to have in breakfast. We just get set in our way and have the same thing every day.
Yeah, and I guess what I was trying to get at, stumbling on my words a little bit, but just because it's a better option doesn't mean we can like replace it exactly the way it is still in our diet, right? So still making those adjustments of having less bread in our diet.
And then just on the better quality note is the least ingredients is the best. So you can actually find bread these days with a handful of ingredients that are actually clean.
Instead of half a page.
Yeah, so if you flip over your bread and it has, 25 ingredients on it, there's a good chance it's not good for you. So that's a good rule of thumb. So always read the ingredients. Don't worry about the calories, the nutritional value label. Don't worry about that.
No.
Look at the ingredients first.
Yeah. We got somehow trained into, as a society, always looking at the nutrition label.
So just make those small transitions. If you're having bread every morning for breakfast, then try to have it maybe have it 5 days a week instead of 7 days a week. Or if you're having white bread, look to a whole wheat bread, then whole grain bread, then sprouted bread. So just make those small transitions, make them as easy as possible, and just be conscious that bread isn't, it's just not a great quality product all around. So what do we have next? Meal plan?
I'm talking about what's coming up this week.
All right, let's do it.
All right, let me go into my secret meal planning drawer. Ooh, I need like a sound effect there.
You need a tickle trunk.
I would love a tickle trunk. Mr. Dressup had a tickle trunk. So this week, what do we got going on? Oh, one of our newer creations. Well, we've had it in the meal plan in the past, but I just named it Lazy Shepherd's Pie.
Oh, that's a good one.
So it's basically the ingredients of a shepherd's pie, but just in a bowl. So we whip up some mashed potatoes, throw some corn or peas and carrots or whatever on top of the mashed potatoes, and then on top of that some baked beans. Delicious. A little bowl of heaven. Now we don't have this all the time. It's more of a treat meal, but
it's a good hearty meal.
Yes.
Like we use white potatoes from our garden, so that's a bit of a better option. We rarely use white potatoes in our meal plan. We have a local co-op corn, which is pretty fantastic for us to use locally. So it's natural, local, non-GMO. And then the baked beans, we always recommend using your own baked beans.
Making your own, yeah.
And we have a fantastic recipe as well. But if you have to use the can, just read the ingredients. It shouldn't have sugar or any other toxins or chemicals in it.
So we got that coming up this week. We have a green detox soup, which is coming back in. We've had that in there before, so just packed full of greeny goodness. So
good for energizing, detoxing, clearing out anything that shouldn't be in there.
Clearing out.
All right.
Okay, what's next? Oh, Drew and I lots like to have, I say lots, but we like as a treat to have breakfast for dinner. So we got some pancakes this week with the fruit salad. Fruit salad, just get creative. Throw in a bowl, whatever fruit you like. We do apples, bananas, oranges, whatever we have.
Yeah, just make your own. It's so easy.
Yeah.
Get a bunch of fruit, chop it
up, throw it in a bowl.
Stay away from that canned stuff with the syrup and all the sugar in it.
Yeah, and then snacks this week are pretty straightforward. Banana and peanut butter. You're going to be whipping up some granola bars. Rice cakes with almond butter. This is another kind of treat I put in there. Really watch the ingredients on the rice cakes. There's some brands you'd want to stay away from.
Yeah, there's I think 1 or 2 ingredients. That's it.
Oh yeah, that's it. Rice cakes, rice. That's what you're looking for, right?
I think I looked at one. It was like the caramel kind that had like 15 ingredients.
Oh, you want the plain ones? Yeah, you don't want those flavored ones. They have a bunch of stuff in them. Yeah, so it should be a good week.
Let's end off with the quote.
Quote. And this is my words.
Let's hear it.
Even if small, celebrate all of your victories.
Nice. Mm-hmm. And then Dorothy likes to put a little picture in the meal plan. There's this little kid flexing his biceps.
I don't know if you can see it. Here, see guys!
It's much more pretty and colorful on the computer.
On the computer, yeah.
Anyways, I think that's a great quote to end off with because we're so hard on ourselves. There's always like something wrong. There's always a reason why we didn't do it right. Of course,
we're our own worst critic.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
We're so hard on ourselves.
We're harder on ourselves than anyone else could possibly be. Mm-hmm. So understand that it's important to celebrate those small victories. Find reasons why you're having a good week, while things are going good for you. Reasons why the meal plan went well, why you're staying active. Mm-hmm. Always be conscious of that and celebrate those little victories.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, that's going to wrap it up
for we got.
Today's morning show. This week's morning show.
This week's, yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, well, catch you later.